Yesterday, Sunday, 19 October 2025, the Louvre Museum in Paris was receiving its visitors as usual, and at around 9:30 a.m., a small group of professional thieves carried out a precisely organized heist, astonishing, similar to Hollywood-style robberies. The crime didn't occur at night or after closing, but in broad daylight, and while visitors were walking through the halls of one of the world's most famous museums. The thieves entered through a construction area on the museum facade overlooking the river Seine, where they used a mobile lift mounted on a track to reach a high window. After that, they use electric tools such as saws to make their way inside. Once the thieves gained entry to the museum, they were straight to the Septum Apollo room in the Dinan wing, which housed a part of the historic French crown jewels. Among the stolen jewels were items that had been owned and worn by royal and Napoleon figure throughout history. Astonishing, the operation didn't take more than 4 minutes. Experts said that most 7 minutes. As soon as the alarms were triggered, the museum was evacuated and remained closed all day. A large proportion of visitors were shocked and didn't know what was happening. Some thought it was a routine matter, others thought it was a fire. At the same time, the police cordoned off the area, and the forensic experts began analyzing the scenes and collecting more information. Question 1: what was stolen and what was not stolen? What was stolen was not merely a jewelry expensive in price, but pieces with literally priceless historical value. Initial investigations indicate that 8 or 9 pieces were stolen from the display cases in the room, and as of the time of writing the episode script, the investors of the stolen item is still being prepared. Among the stolen pieces were jewelry belonging to the Empress Eugenie, a wife of Napoleon III, Queen Hortense, daughter of Napoleon's wife, and Empress Marie Louise, wife of Napoleon I, and also a necklace set with diamond and emerald that was a gift from Napoleon, and also a crown of Eugenie was later found near the museum. Apparently, the thieves dropped or threw it, but it was damaged from the fall. What is striking is that the most prominent pieces in that collection, the famous original diamond, value at tens of millions of dollars, was not stolen. Experts and analysts said that it was an intentional decision by the thieves to avoid drawing attention, because that particular piece is internationally known and can be easily traced. In short, the thieves were not stupid but extremely smart, and their target were selective and calculated. They stole piece of very high historical value, but that was less historical famous, so they could be sold without drawing any attention. Question 2: how was the operation carried out? The details shows professional planning akin to Hollywood robberies. The thieves used a track mounted lift to reach a window of the room from the outside. They carried out the operation in front of the crowd in broad daylight and acted as if they were simply a company doing a repair or maintenance work. They managed to enter and smash the display cases with powerful electric tools. The timing was very precise. They moved just minutes after the Louvre opened, and visitors, which indicates conducted reconnaissance and surveillance beforehand, perhaps for weeks. Investigators indicate that the thieves escaped using motorcycle or using scooters, which allowed them a rapid gateway through Paris, routine ironically lamented by the French traffic. For the French, the funny, sad part is that the Apollo Rome that was attacked is one of the most heavily protected area in the entire museum, and reaching it from the inside is very difficult, like Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible. But what they had not recognized was that nobody would be foolish enough to try to break into the museum from the outside. So the tribal security gave the understand or underestimate was one of the thieves exploited. Museum staff had for years warned that high visitors pressure and staff shortage could lead to a security weak points, which appears to have been realized in this incident. Question 3. Why it is this operation was very dangerous, and in my view, no matter how much time passes, it will become one of the Netflix movies. The danger of the incidents is not only in the mandatory value of the jewelry, but there's historical and national symbolism. The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world. Its houses is the most famous painting on earth, the Mona Lisa, which indicate had been stolen before, and more than 70% of tickets sold are just to see the Mona Lisa. Add to that thousands of other artificial and artifacts from different areas and parts of the world, and the museum represents French heritage pride. Therefore, the security and surveillance level at this museum must be very high. In my opinion, it should be even more projected that the official residence of French President penetrating its security so easily is a strong slap to France's reputation and heritage. France President Emmanuel Macron described the operation as an attack on our heritage, while the Ministry of Culture said that the stolen pieces are priceless, which they truly are, since those jewelries and pieces are very difficult to sell. Experts had said that the terrifying nightmare would be in the thieves decide to dismantle them to scrap and sell these pieces by pieces on the black market. The chance of recovering them intact would be very small. French authorities moved very quickly after the left was reported, because the sensitive and important states in any country are usually directly linked to the nearest security center. The Paris public prosecutor opened a broad and rapid investigation, and specialized organized crime unit began working immediately. the evidence indicate the preparatories were highly experienced and may have carried out similar theft in many countries, not only in France. Forensic experts began examining the tools used, the traces of enter and exit, and surveillance cameras. The museum was closed for a full day to preserve the crime scene. Political leaders pledged to mobilize all resources and forces to catch the thieves and recover the stolen pieces as quickly as possible, while the museum administration announced a comprehensive review of a security procedure and a museum security strategies might be recognized entirely, and not for the Louvre but for French museum and even European ones, whether by enhancing camera surveillance system, upgrading display cases, or limiting access to sensitive section. This is similar to how airport roads changed worldwide because of one man, the British Richard Reid, known as the show bomber, who tried to blow up an American plane in 2020 with a small bomb hidden in the show, which led to airport forcing passengers to remove shows. It seems this theft will bring about similar changes the coming days. It is expected that French authorities will publish a detailed list of the stolen pieces so it can be circulated through the Interpol and international police and global market to prevent their sale and to report them immediately upon sighting, because the stolen pieces are so well known. Selling them on normal markets will be almost impossible, so experts believe that they will be most likely to be dismantled and melted down or smuggled to private parties who are hard to reach. Personally, I have a hypothesis based on what I have read about the detail of this incident. It seems to me that these thieves are indeed clever. As soon as someone thinks outside the box and uses a vulnerability that nobody would think of, I immediately rank them among the extraordinary. Therefore, I don't believe these thieves are looking for money only, but they are exactly know what value of the piece they are targeting, not the monetary value, but the artistic and historic value. The assumption that they will dismantle them and sell them as piece of the black market is, in my view, unlikely. What I think and have considered is these thieves may be working with someone under the shadows of someone. This person could be an unknown, extremely wealthy man, perhaps a mobster obsessed with antiquities and ready to pay millions upon millions, but who wants to remain it in the shadow. He might be the mastermind or financier, and the thief agreed with him to bring him the piece for a certain sum. Logically and pragmatically, this kills two birds with one stone and is preferable for these parties. The thieves avoid international police pursuit and the difficulties of selling the pieces on the black market, and the mysteries rich man in the background wins the artworks and is not interested in selling them. He may decorate his purse with them or place them in a collection of the historical artifacts facts that might themselves have been stolen in similar way. This is just a speculation and assumption based on the fact that this piece would become a curse of whoever stolen them, similar to the course struck the pirates of the series Pirates of the Caribbean, getting rid of the burden by paying millions would indeed a profitable deal. But I don't know what the audience think about this point. Thank you for sharing and for subscribing. Have a good day.